What's going on? How goes it?
Hey man, how are you?
Good calls coming through. We got the new brand of Dad's bookcase, which I like considering we haven't recorded it in the morning. Definitely since my daughter's been born, and it's harder and
Yeah,
harder to get up in the morning.
early mornings got away from us, which is totally understandable. It's amazing that we did it when we did too. So those 5 a.m. calls are hard to look back on.
I don't know if it was ambitious to start or it's harder now. Are you because I'm kind of waking up early, but I'm doing it less frequently. It's hard. It's hard. Like sleep is hard to get both at
Uh, I'm
night.
still I'm still up in the morning. It's just there's other stuff to do in the morning now.
Well, I'm taking a train earlier, so
Oh,
that's
that'll do.
hurts me. So it's not like the one day I can yeah, not commute. Commuting is hurting a little bit. I don't know. It's you gotta find time wherever you can get it. We were
Does the
ambitious
commute at
before.
least help reading time so you have that 2 hours a day kind of locked in?
No, I don't. I haven't found my good groove. It's on my to do list of try and get. I get tired. I'm
Sure.
fall asleep so quickly on the train.
Yeah, it's a rocking sensation.
I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's. I
No,
just
I think there's a natural, especially early in the morning, it's very comforting to just tune out.
yeah. I haven't. What is your ideal reading setup that you can crush 80 pages during the week? Like when would you crush 80 pages? Because getting a chunk of reading done is very advantageous to what we're doing,
So it depends,
and I
like
haven't found.
fully 100% focus, it's tough, but lately I've been doing it while watching sports.
Uh, After your daughter goes to bed.
Yeah.
After your daughter goes
So
to
I'll be
bed.
watching TV and instead of like flipping back and forth to three different things like I usually do, I'll have one game on and then I'll just read like during commercials or whatever, in between pitches for baseball, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have no problem watching sports with the sound off and just
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes I prefer it.
yeah, yes. That is how I read before Marriage and Kids. Now I have so little time with Monica that we'll like put a
Yeah.
show on together, and
Yeah. So if that time is out then for reading.
yeah, it's few and far between.
Yeah.
So my go-to time has to be on the
Train.
train, that hour in the morning, hour at night. I'm falling asleep, YouTube and podcasts are the death of reading. Or not death, but
uh,
they're
podcasts, I would say so. Yeah, I'm deep into that Rest is History podcast.
how good
If
is
I
it?
were if I were doing books on tape instead of that, then I would be doing another book a week, no problem.
Yeah. I love to do a podcast or a recording about there's been a couple podcasts about how few or how little people are reading, and it'd be my goal to grow this to part where people are reading along with us and following along, because you see all these like 10 books every man must read, and it's like the Odyssey, it's all these old ancient, read what's grand read Beowulf, read.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's great, but also have you tried Plum Island?
Plus, those are the books that people were like, I gave that a shot in high school. I don't feel like going through it again.
Correct.
Yeah,
So I want to build or establish a chunk of books that, like, hey, so you want to read and you haven't found anything good. This is what you read. This isn't, you know, the Iliad. This isn't,
right. Yeah,
or this isn't King Arthur. This is contemporary books with along the same themes of, you know, guy gets a girl, guy goes against evil force, man versus nature, overcoming odds. Any of those, established hallmarks of Western civilization literacy. But
mixing
this
and
is
matching too. Like there are books that we've covered so far which are perfect to read while watching a baseball game. There's other ones that are better than like your favorite show.
oh yeah.
So there's a
Oh yeah.
there's a mix there where ones that you will lock in more so than looking forward to your favorite show coming on. And then yeah, there's other ones that you can get by kind of skimming and just reading along.
But I think what discourages many people, and I'm putting myself in this group, is that you go through 5 books and one is that. One is
Right.
the home run. So that's a lot of time for busy men and women, or from whatever age, to dedicate to reading if you're not loving the book. So if we could create a list of 25 books that, hey, you don't have a lot of time, you don't want to read, you know, King Arthur, or you don't want to read The Jungle Book, or you want to read, these crazy, even I mean older books, but you don't want to read
Yeah.
Siddhartha, or what was it,
Jungle Book I actually liked.
Epic of
Jungle Book.
Gilgamesh. You'll read,
There, that's a better example.
yeah, yeah. You want to read the Epic of Gilgamesh? Read these books.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's countless people who say that reading before bed is like the best thing you could do also. So even if that's 15, 20 minutes, that supposedly is very, very good for you.
I love reading my Kindle before bed, but I just get so tired. I'm just exhausted. And I'll get through 3 pages. I need that chunk of 80 pages, and it is on the train. It's going to be on the train. I just have to
Yeah, be up for
do
it.
it. I have to do
Yeah.
it. All right, let's talk about this week's book, Undaunted Courage by Stephen Ambrose. Uh, Published in 1997. Undaunted Courage by Stephen E. Ambrose is a detailed nonfiction account of the Lewis and Clark expedition, focusing especially on the life and leadership of Meriwether Lewis. The book explores how President Thomas Jefferson's vision of a westward expansion led to the Corps of Discovery's journey across the uncharted American frontier in the early 1800s. What do you got for me?
I didn't know much about these two guys besides the name. I didn't know much about the time frame that it happened. If you had asked me before reading this, when was Lewis and Clark? Maybe I would have guessed early 1800s, but with no certainty then. So didn't know when it happened, didn't know much about it. Really had no idea what the route that they took or the time that it took or how important it was also. So this was pretty much like new voyage, new experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Did you know Thomas Jefferson sent them out?
Nah, no, it wouldn't have like been the first thing I said.
Yeah, I definitely in my mind knew like Louisiana Purchase,
Got it. Okay.
Lewis and Clark, and they were sent out before the Louisiana Purchase was made.
Yeah, that
They
was
were going to
kind of
go into
like
foreign territory.
yeah, that was like next the I guess that legitimized it a bit more. So
Yes,
Louisiana Purchase came out, and then yeah, they're already on the way, but that kind of legitimized. Okay, that area is now ours, and now we can expand it with these two explorers.
I have it highlighted here. As Jefferson nicely put it, the Louisiana Purchase lessened the apprehensions of interruptions from other powers.
Yeah,
So they were
so
going to be
there's
sent
a
into
whole
French and British territory.
huge plot of area that's now okay. We can walk through it, we can explore it. It's ours.
Bingo.
And that plot of area was like crucial to the start of the voyage.
So what I mean, one of my immediate takeaways was I love the first part when they're going through like the Great Plains and they're like, there is meat everywhere. There's like you hear about these like Marco Polo's expedition or any of these,
Right.
explorers, and they're like, we were eating rats and starving for months. And these guys are like, I shot 6 bison, 3 elk, 2 antelope. Each man ate 8 pounds of meat per day.
Just for the fun of it, there is more buffalo that you could see, and they're not afraid of you. You could step right up to them and shoot them, and the other ones won't run away. Yeah, what a really like interesting example of hunting. You can't really call it hunting though. It's almost like that's
No,
basically farming. That's like meat farming,
I would use the word harvesting
harvesting. Yeah, okay.
because that's what some hunters use to as like, oh, we harvested the deer. No, this is literally harvesting.
Even that to me though, the hunting and stuff like that, it is. It seemed like they were doing a lot. I guess they were walking a lot and expending a lot of energy. But yeah, they were actually saying they're eating pounds and pounds of meat per day.
Yeah, they weren't eating enough vegetables. They were just
They weren't
eating.
eating any vegetables, which was
Yeah,
amazing. That wasn't even like close to a part of it. They didn't think about that.
yeah. I think in the chapter 2 when it talks about provisioning the expedition, which apparently he did a good job of. He kind of nailed it.
That's what they were
Uh,
saying was one of his biggest pluses, accreditations, is how well he planned for it, because
yeah,
he actually had to plan out supplies for a year plus of uncharted territory, which is amazing to think about.
and they're trading the whole time.
Yeah.
Um, but they talk about. Do you remember reading how like a buffalo calf just came up against his legs and he could pet the calf?
Yeah.
They were just so docile.
Meanwhile, that's like lunch and dinner. Yeah. They just, I guess in that particular area, again, there was just so many of them that you just don't recognize when one or two or five goes down in the herd. But yeah, you see buffalo as far as your eye goes, and they were on that path, that trek for quite some time.
Yeah, obviously it changes a little bit in the Rockies. They talk about how the game got
Kind of the
scarce
opposite.
and
Yeah, in the Rockies, once they get out into that area, they become a little bit more desperate. I think they were even struggling with fish. Fish
yeah,
being a big part of their diet was difficult. Birds weren't there anymore. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
the bitter roots part of the
right.
Rockies.
Yeah. And that's when they became more reliant on the indigenous people.
So they have you heard of Sacagawea before this
Yeah,
book?
just
Yeah.
yeah. The coins came out. I think what 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah. So she not a big person in the trip, and she basically just links them with the Shoshone, and the Shoshone bring them over. The whole
Yeah,
it's kind of when you learn it in fourth grade, you're like, these guys had no idea what they were doing, and then
right.
Sacagawea leads
Yeah,
them to the Pacific, and
right.
like she kind of got them from was she captured by the Mandan or she's captured by the Arikara? Some other tribe captured her, and she married a Frenchman, and then she basically links them to her home
Which is kind of nuts that
um,
she was
in the
able to
Rockies.
again meet up with her original clan tribe. That's kind of nuts to think about.
That scene when her brother's the chief,
Yeah,
that's nuts.
just recognizing each other after no chance you thought you would ever see each other again.
And they called her Leaping Fish because that's what she looked like when she was escaping
When
during
she
the other
was,
Indian raid.
yeah, so they actually like thought and had a memory of that.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that is a crazy story. But yeah,
So
she was integral, I would say, but maybe not as crucial as growing up. You think about her role.
it did kind of surprise me how north you mentioned it earlier how north their path was.
Yeah,
It
makes
was
you
a
think of
lot through the Dakotas, Montana,
yeah.
like northern Rockies.
Yeah, this reading this made me do a lot of looking on just a map of the United States. So following the Missouri River, for example, and then going over to the Washington as well. Yeah, I
Yeah,
never kind of expected it to go as straight north as it does, and then over. So it is. Yeah, it's Dakotas, Montana, and then through to get to Washington, and then maybe a little bit south, but it's right on Canada border pretty much the whole way.
yeah, and a lot of it was they were following fur trappers and hunters who were hired by various hunting conglomerations, and so they knew outposts and they knew little spots to go to along the
For a
Missouri. And
bit,
what?
for a bit, like up
Yeah,
until like St. Louis for sure, and then a little bit after St. Louis, I think.
but I think that's what pulled them north, because otherwise, I think you just try and go.
Oh,
I
I
would
thought it was
assume.
the water. I thought they were just following the water because they
Yeah,
were looking for the fastest way, and the fastest way would be boat, you would hope.
and the Missouri, they were going against the current the entire way.
Which, how much does that suck if you think about it?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, they mentioned that also in terms of the like technology that they had available to the time, where the invention of the steamboat was only what 20, 30 years away or
Yeah,
so.
they
What a
yeah.
difference that makes. Like that would have made their lives just so freaking much easier. And
They
that
had
was only
like
a couple decades away. Like they were probably alive to see those. maybe. I don't know. They died early, but yeah, around that time.
Yeah, they talk about how they knew how they were going to navigate the boat is either be by pole, by row, by having ox pull it along the bank, and
Right.
then they have to create all these ways to push to get the boat going.
Yeah. And they
And then
had to because the boats had all their provisions and everything. Like they had to go by boat for as much as they could.
I think the main boat was big enough to hold a couple of horses.
It was hard for me to picture that and to imagine the size of these boats. I was having trouble for that because when you hear about the boats with oars, you originally think canoe, but obviously
Yes,
these were much bigger than canoes. But how much bigger could it be? You know, if they're able to pull it from the shore and stuff like that. Yeah, picturing their boat was difficult.
I totally agree. And he kept referring it to the some. There was a canoe, and he had a unique name for it that I'd never heard before. And I was like, "What is that?" And it's a canoe that's just shaped from one log, from one like massive tree.
Oh, got it. So put together. Okay.
It's put together, so it's not. I guess canoe is multiple pieces, and this word is just one log. And I don't know. I was like, "What is it?" It was interesting to know. And how about the liquored up, boatsmith or the boatmaster who like they couldn't get him to start the trip.
There's
I'm like,
one guy. There's one
yeah,
guy in the United States who can make boats, and he's too drunk to do it. Which
he's
is
in like
that's
Western
hilarious.
Pennsylvania or Ohio. Like,
I think it was
we got to
Pennsylvania.
get going, and this guy's like drinking every day. Oh my
Come
god!
back, come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow.
All right, this is.
That was
I mean,
crazy.
go
One
ahead.
other thing that jumped out on me was they kept talking about it all the time about their like feet and stepping on like prickly pears and things like that.
Yep. Like,
I don't get that. How did they not like first priority? Like, let's find something to put on our feet. Even if you put like slabs of wood on your feet, it would probably be better than walking in just the leather moccasins that they kept making.
they talk about moccasins a lot. I don't get footwear. Up until 1950, like post World War II, footwear just must have been awful.
Yeah, but they actually had footwear. It's not like we're talking about they were just rocking sandals before that. But I guess I don't know how they didn't adapt to it. Like, hey, we wear shoes that have wood soles. We could probably use something like that trekking across the wilderness.
I wouldn't want to trek in wood soles across un like wild
They
Rocky Mountains.
the way they talked about the misery of like stepping on those prickly things constantly sounds to me like one of the worst experiences they had on the trip. So there was pockets of mosquitoes being bad. That sounds like hell. But then
Yeah, that sounds bad.
the feet really got to me
You
too.
see, in any like excursion, any like extended conflict, like how did
Take care of your feet.
Alexander?
World
How
War
did they
One.
march?
Go back. Yeah, you
World War
just take.
One. Yeah,
Yeah,
like freezing and Revolutionary War, Valley Forge. How did they really? How do they cut their toenails? How do you cut your toenails?
think about that. Yeah, you would even be better
Anything.
off. I would think you would be either better off just taking a hide of a buffalo and just like making a slipper out of it.
Yeah, just go caveman, like in those caveman cartoons where it's just like a
Just
sheet
like
of,
it's just a
fur
slipper.
and then just
Yeah, it's like
cords.
a little dog that you basically step your foot in. Yeah, so that got me the whole time. I'm like, why? Why didn't they spend more time thinking about their feet when they're walking across the country?
Yeah, they called it like not porcupine grass, something grass that was
Probably
terrible.
like razor blades. Yeah.
And I think there is like a small cactus that they or some grass that does like shoot out prickers that, or you brush it and prickers very easily eject onto yours.
Stick to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially there. I mean, never been touched before. No one's ever walked on these things before. It's all new. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't protect themselves more.
And they say I forget if it was Lewis or Clark's dog got absolutely rocked by them.
Yeah,
Remember
it
that
was.
it was Lewis's dog, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
the name of it. Yeah, I think it was his dog.
something that begins with an S. Um, it was an interesting book, but nothing I'm gonna be like, oh my god, push it into people's hands.
Nah, yeah, again, pretty new to me in that it was these characters were known, but I didn't know really anything else about them. So that was unique. That was cool. If you're into the wildlife and hunting thing, there's a decent amount about that in terms of them seeing bears for the first time and chasing coyotes, which have never been done before, and all that kind of jazz, which is pretty cool. Um, it is crazy that he was not just like a navigator and a hunter, but he also had to be a botanist and a scientist, and he was a doctor. So his knowledge of all things that you need for that trip was pretty amazing if you think about that. Like he was
Uh,
coming up with cures for people for sicknesses and illnesses that he's never seen before. He's documenting all these plants and animals. That was pretty impressive.
yeah, and he had to learn it all like in the 2 years before the trip.
Yeah, basically, he just ran around like the 13 colonies trying to link up with the smartest people who could understand, navigation by the stars, which is basically what he had to do the whole time.
Yeah, that was super impressive. They was also not totally clear how he did it because they talk about a lot about like they need to meet the Greenwich time median.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure there's something that I was missing that. It's probably easier said than done, of course, but yeah, I think it is just mapping sun or stars in sky to where they are or where they think they are, and that's how they found um, the parallels, how north or
yeah.
south they were.
Um, let's see if I can pull it up. But so we've read one other book by Stephen Ambrose. We read Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
I like Band of Brothers slightly more than this. I just think
Definitely.
it's a more compelling story.
Yeah, definitely. Band of Brothers over this for sure.
Yeah. Um,
Part of it too, part of the thing that we're missing is that so this accounting of their tale was all basically from diaries of the people who were
yeah.
there. And like part of Lewis's diary just stopped, whether it was lost or he just stopped writing, whatever it was. There was like that big gap. So there
Yeah.
is like a lot of this that was just kind of unknown and had to be pieced together. So even though it was only the early 1800s, it wasn't as firsthand or as accurate as I think as a lot of people would want or hope. Definitely wasn't an autobiography.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to give it a score? Or you want me to go first?
I'm going with 5-1.
Okay. I was gonna give it 7-1. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
Um,
I did say this to you though when I first started reading it. Title is Undaunted Courage. It was daunting. I got the physical book from the library. It was big and it was small print and there weren't a lot of pictures. This took a while
yeah,
to get.
this is a chunk. Um, it it could have been edited much down. There are a lot of times where they're
Yeah, yeah.
in the Dakotas.
If
They're
they
just
wanted to make it more of an action kind of thriller, yeah, they could have just followed that and jazzed it up. But they did a lot about the preparation and a lot about the political atmosphere and a lot about talking about their ranks in the army and their pay for that and all that stuff, which is what this author kind of does. He does get down into some nitty gritty details. But yeah, if you wanted this to be like an action thriller, you could have cut it by 2/3, I would say.
yeah. You probably have to just do chapter on the prep, chapter on the Dakotas, and start with um, leaving chapter on probably leaving St. Louis, chapter on Dakotas, and then really
Yeah.
bulk it after.
Hunting buffalo, good times. The first like encounter with those Indians on the water, struggling through the Rockies, and then making it through. Maybe a little chapter about that winter that they had to stay.
Yep.
I forget where that winter was. Was it out before they got to the Rockies? So I don't know where that
The
was.
one where it's in, I think it was in the North Dakotas where it's like the coldest winter in the last uh 50 years or whatever they said
Yeah,
it
and
was.
basically they were just stuck on that area that they set aside for themselves for however many months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it was.
And they left their boat in the water and it was like frozen into the ice.
Yeah,
I thought it was really going to be cracked and broken.
you would
Maybe it
think so.
was. They just
Yeah,
didn't talk about it because obviously the water expands when it becomes ice. Yeah, it was good. I mean, still looking for that nonfiction that's just absolute page turner.
yeah. No, not there yet. Not this one. It was good, not that good.
All right, do you want to do a quick couple minutes on the New York Football Giants?
Yeah, sure. How much did you watch? I watched a decent amount of the game this weekend. Not like the whole thing, but enough.
Your boy is struggling with all things NFL.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for being a Giants fan. You know what I was thinking though today? Talk about Giants and Jets for that matter too. Sam Darnold just went nuts last night. Daniel Jones had a terrible game, but he's in like first place. Uh, it's almost like there's a curse around here where there's just not going to be a quarterback that either of these two teams are going to be able to get who actually can like play well and win on the team. Like even if they got good quarterbacks, I don't know how well they can do on these teams.
Uh, yeah, it's definitely frustrating that Darnold and Jones are doing very well outside of the Jets and Giants. Um, but I don't think it's. Can you hold on 1 second? I got actually. Let's just wrap it there. I got a knock on my door. I gotta see who it is. We'll talk more future.
We'll do it next time.
All right, cool.